All right, let's call this meeting to order at 9:03. So we got the whole committee here. First item on the agenda is the approval of today's agenda. I think actually we're going to add one more thing, right, Alan?
Correct.
20.
Item 20, as the committee members from the home tour remember, there was a request for the homeowner to add a variance. He came downstairs, signed it, and I have it in my hands. So,
And that's in connection with which number?
14 Deer Run, which
Okay, item
is
12.
12, correct. So when that comes up, so, okay.
So did you send that variance to us?
No, haven't. I've been
Okay.
kind of buried.
But all the information's on item 12.
All the information,
so
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, so with that change to our agenda, adding it to, that'd be 20 for the variance. All in favor of today's meeting agenda?
Aye.
Or can I get a motion first?
I move to approve the agenda.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 All right, let's move down to 3, consent agenda for the meeting minutes for May 21st, 2026. Can I get a motion?
I'll move to approve the minutes.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All right. Item 2 is property owner comments, where anybody who is with us today can speak about anything that's not necessarily related to any property on our agenda. So anything that you want to say, this is the time. Any hands up, Alan?
No hands up.
Yeah, we do have, we can't get the hands up.
Okay, and I have another hand up, Gary
Okay.
Persilia. Yeah.
Is this in connection with any of the properties on the agenda today, or do you just want to speak?
Yes, it's concerning item 10, which is
Okay.
32 Lake Louise Drive.
Is this a general comment, or do you want to speak when we get down to item 10?
So it's basically that's the property right next to ours. And what?
So are you saying that if it's about a property, it needs to wait until we get to that property?
Yeah, we're going to have discussion, and you'll have plenty of time to talk about it at that point.
Okay.
This is an opening for anybody who just has a general comment about ACC or any other issue.
Okay,
but we'll give you plenty of time to talk about item 10 when we get to it.
Okay, thank you.
Do you have time to stick around, or we'll probably go ahead and do it one of the first ones?
Yeah, we're sticking around.
Okay, sounds good.
So,
one more person. Yeah, go ahead, Gary.
So I don't know if I'm on the agenda. I know that Alan's aware of my tree removal request, which is post removal of the tree. So I don't know if it's on the agenda. I just wanted to make you aware that I was here. And if Alan has brought the permit, then that's great, and we can talk about it. So with that, I'll just listen. So thank you.
Sure, Gary. No, it's not part of the agenda.
Okay. So I guess if there's any questions on it, well, I guess there won't be. So
no, there may be, but it's outside of the ACC because the activity has already happened. The tree is already down. So
okay.
there's no point going to the ACC about this. However, you and I will have conversations, sir, about the activities. I say that tongue in cheek, but I mean, there's some stuff going on with that. So you feel free to stick around as an observer, but you're not on the agenda.
Okay, I'll stick around. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, let's go to item 11, 10 Lookout Mountain with Jeremy.
Yes.
Looks like you did a lot of work on this place.
It's just a retaining wall.
Just the retaining wall.
We went out and looked at it, and it looks like a pretty solid retaining wall. Committee, do you have any comments for Jeremy?
My question was the retaining wall there, was there something there before that the parking pad that's there, was that there before and the retaining wall was just installed to support that parking pad?
To support the parking pad. The parking pad is beginning to run downhill. So part of a larger water mitigation issue we're having with the house. And so we're starting with that wall and then
We're going to have to reinforce our frankly, we're just going to have to reinforce our foundation eventually. Right now, we're looking into what that would look like. We've had a couple of contractors come out. I'm Krista Morton, by the way. Sorry. And basically, there's two options for us. We can sink spikes, or we can patch. Right now, we're probably going to have to patch the foundation and then look into sinking spikes. But right now, with the grade that our land is, the water just runs straight down, and that whole parking pad that was there originally when we bought the house was starting to flow down basically into our house. So the retaining wall and the water mitigation to make sure that that continues to drain correctly and not continue to erode the foundation was the reason that we put the retaining wall in.
Well, that's essentially your only parking right there, right?
It is. Yeah, we've got kind of up against the street a little bit, but that's really more of kind of a shoulder than it is an actual true parking spot.
Right.
So the issue here is you installed originally and railroad ties, realized that was a faux pas, and now you come back in and install the correct materials, and we're looking to sort of retroactively approve that.
Yes,
Right.
exactly. We're looking through, didn't realize we actually had a couple contractors come out and they go, "Who sold you these? They're not allowed to sell these to the public." And so we had it all pulled out. Lovely gentleman, Moses Landscaping came out and they did it all within the pressure treated lumber. I think you guys probably saw it the other day when you came by.
Yeah, it looked like a good job.
Yeah.
No, it looked good. So, if anyone else has any questions, if not, I'll make a motion to approve this request.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.
Thanks, Krista. Thanks, Jeremy.
Okay, let's go down to item 16. Jeff?
Yes, I'm here.
Hey, Jeff. Just pulling it up right now.
I guess the one that we looked at that we thought looks like it's got promise, but need more detail, right?
Yeah, we don't
Yes,
really, go ahead.
Oh,
Go ahead, Jeff.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's all right. Go ahead.
So I talked with it's the construction company. They were going to come out today, because he said using natural stone, given the slope, he was concerned that the ground underneath, the way they're constructed would not support it, and recommended going to those concrete blocks that are stamped like rock on the front. And I think he said they're, I can't remember, about 18 inches high. There'd be about 3 of them. They were going to come out today, look at it, and kind of give me a plan on what they thought and the time. I don't know if you've had experience with budget costs on those, but he was quoting me about $47,000 to do that.
37,000?
$47,000.
Well, I think generally what you've described in the description and correlating to the marks on the image there, it looks like it's conceptually a good project. I think what we would be looking for, at least I would be looking for, is a little more of a detail, maybe like a drawing, some sort of an illustration. And if you've got a contractor or a landscape architect, they should be able to provide that for you. So that's
Yes,
my.
and And he is, and I can provide that when I get it from him. Like I said, he was the initial kind of consultation with him. We wanted to do natural stone for the area and keep it more natural, but unfortunately, that doesn't seem like it's a feasible solution for safety. If something gives way, there's nothing to hold things back, as opposed to the blocks that lock in. They're much more secure and safer. I can provide that information when I get it to him. Hopefully, I'll have it by next week, and I can resubmit things if you'd like.
Yeah, I think to Dan's point, it sounds like a good idea. It sounds like you've had this. This is well thought out. But at the end of the day, we have to approve something, and this isn't enough to approve. So I think with those drawings, just to firm it up a little bit, it shouldn't be a problem. But at this point, I think we may need to deny it as submitted. But
Okay.
we're on board with your project, I think. And any other questions or comments?
No,
Katie?
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. And I'll when I get those from the landscape company, I'll submit those up and resubmit. Thanks.
Okay. Any other comments, committee?
Have you looked elsewhere, get other bids other than that 47,000?
I've contacted 3 other landscape companies that do retaining walls, and none of them have gotten back to me. So if there's somebody that has other suggestions, I'm for it. But I think I'm not sure if it's demand or what's going on, but it's hard getting anyone to even respond to calls or emails.
Yeah, I've seen that to be the case.
So, all right. Thank you. I've got another meeting I got to get to, so I appreciate everything. I will resubmit once I get that information.
Thank you.
Okay. Can I get a motion? Can I get a motion on this one?
I move to deny.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, Jeff. You're still there.
Yep. Thank you.
Item 19, Justin, 1 Dawn Break Court.
Present.
Hey,
Hello.
hey, I'm just pulling it up right now. I think this was just the paint, right?
Yes. Exterior paint.
Okay. So it's a special blend. Is that what this is?
It is a special blend. We had the cyberspace pre-approved color approved a couple months ago.
Yeah.
We saw a house that was just recently painted with that color by the painting company that we hired, and we determined that it was too blue. It was basically just a shade darker than the blue that our house is currently. And we really liked another house that was on the way to that one. And they showed us a sample of their paint, which is this color. It was on 28 Honeycomb Lane. And so we liked that one. We talked to the homeowner. And so that's what this color is.
My committee have any comments about this outrageous color?
Good.
I
I
guess
get a
you
motion?
should have started painting before your neighbor got it done. You would have had the original one.
Can I get a motion for this?
I move to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Thanks, Justin.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay. Move to item 4, 10 Inlet Circle. You with us, Matt?
Yes, I'm here. Sorry.
Okay, I'm just pulling it up. Is Jerry with us today, Alan?
Yes,
Yes,
he's
I
on.
can.
Hey, Jerry, do you have any comments you can start us off with here on this one?
So the kicker here, that's going to determine a lot of this, I think, is you described that you're going to be using steps. And in our policies, staircases are considered structural. They are considered to be something that is inappropriate to put in our setbacks. And as drawn, this is right on the property line. So it does not have the 5 feet that it needs. Anything else, Dan?
Can I make
I think that's
ask a question?
Sure thing.
Is that you, Matt?
Yes, that's Matt. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So as opposed to kind of a full staircase, when we say steps, we're going ahead and saying change of grade. So we would normally use like a treated 4x6 just so that it's safer to walk on. Is that not allowed?
It's a determination between what is path and what is stairs. That's the question. I looked at your topo map, and it seems pretty steep, especially at the start. I'm guessing that's where a lot of the steps are. And if that is a staircase, that is not going to be something that we allow within our setbacks without a variance.
Yeah, so we would have to do it as a path then, and I guess I'll need some clarity on what's allowed on a path as opposed to what's the transition from a path to a staircase.
Well,
You've got to have anything that creates an elevation change with steps, then that's the transition. So if it's a dirt or gravel path from start to finish, that's not a staircase. If there's any wood or support structures on the elevation change, then that's a stair. So.
What about landscape stones, pavers, or just separate little stones?
Like using a stone to kind of create a stepping down?
Yes.
Sort of a path.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, just before we answer that one, what are the setbacks on this one, Jerry? Total setback? Are we at 15 plus or what?
So this is sort of an older property. So it is quite close to the setback. I believe it's 5 on either side from the eaves, 6 to the wall. So this is a building that's pretty far into its setback.
Yeah, so this is a good example of why we did increase those setbacks a little bit. It gets really tight when you try to do anything other than just put a house in here.
Yeah, they got 4.5 feet from the eave. So if we go by the wall, which is where it's going to be more spatially referenced, it's 6 foot to the property line. So if they put a staircase in here that's 4 foot wide, they're going to be encroached 3 feet into the they're going to be encroached almost the entire way. It's going to be almost right on the property line. It'll be 2 feet off the property line.
I guess we'll make this easy for everybody. So it says new landscape steps. So we should just change that to new landscaping pathway, and because below it says the description is clear gravel pathway. So obviously we're going to need a pathway on one side of the house. So we're really just shifting it from the left side to the right side. Nothing else would change other than the location.
So it's essentially the same design, just on a different side.
Yeah, that's all we're doing. Yeah. It's actually more gradual on this side. That's why we decided to change it. And I think there were some air conditioning units issues or something. I don't know.
Okay. Does that description make sense, Jerry? That we're just moving one to the other, and they both have the same setback. Is that correct?
Yes.
Roughly the same.
Yes.
Okay, so then there's the 8x8 jacuzzi pad, and that's already under a roof, right?
Correct. That's under the existing structure.
Okay. So was there a plan to actually put the jacuzzi there? Is that something that you can submit later on, or is that just
We're putting the pad in, and I think the homeowner is planning to do it at some potential future date. So we're just prepping for it, not installing it.
Okay.
Yeah. But do they need to get the permission for the actual install when they do it?
Yeah, because it may have like privacy screen issues, things like
Okay.
that, but the pad shouldn't be an issue. Does my committee have any other concerns or comments about the
I still
change?
have my question about the stones.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Terry. The flagstone pathway, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, I can't make the determination what is and what isn't a staircase, so I'm going to leave that up to the committee.
So if they did some runs of like a 4-foot run, 5-foot run with a couple of rocks that you step down over, and then another longer run and step down over. I mean, it's gonna look like a staircase, but there's nothing structural there. To me, I think the definition would be if there's something structural installed. If you're putting wood, screws, then it looks like a staircase. If it's just rocks that could have randomly been there naturally, I mean, it'd be a really weird coincidence to have them that sequence. The rocks are going to look more like a landscape feature, less like, somebody came in and built something. So
that sounds like a Japanese garden. I think that sounds pretty good. So you're thinking of sort of a terraced landscape feature using rocks.
Yes.
Does that sound good, Matt?
Yeah, that would totally work. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'll make a motion to approve with the feedback that it can't be anything structural that's tied down, mounted, wood, screwed together. It's got to be a natural landscape stairs with rocks and gravel. And if it can't be that, then they need to come back to get a variance to be within the setback.
Okay. Thank you.
Is it going to be on the left or the right?
It's going to be on the right. And I would also add to that addendum, make it clear to the homeowner that the approval of these steps and the approval of the jacuzzi pad is the approval for the jacuzzi pad. It's not approval for the jacuzzi, that's a subsequent application and request.
Understood. I'll make that clear to them.
Any other comments on that motion? Can I get a second? Oh, I mean, all approved? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. So you're here for item 5 also?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
This is the one that had the fence along the back side that was a solid fence, and then a fence along the sides of the property that looked more like an acceptable style of fence. I think we had some questions around definitely on the back fence, the solid fence, and then like the perimeter, is it around the entire perimeter of the property? And then we also, at least I wanted to know, what is a gravel
observation pad?
What are you observing from that pad or preparing to put there eventually?
Sure. Okay. Couple of questions. I'll answer the last one first. What they're observing is the water view. So it's a little niche over on the side of the house where they can see the water and the marina and things like that. I believe that they are envisioning putting some, I don't know, lawn chairs or whatever. They have a dog hanging out outside so they can see the lake from the outside. So that's what the plan is there.
So patio space.
Yeah. Yes. Like a fire pit section. I don't know if they're gonna put a fire pit, but traditionally that's kind of what it would look like.
Okay. And about the fence. Could you describe the fence?
Yeah, the fence. So I did look through the guidelines, and I think it's discouraged to have solid fencing. I don't know if you guys did a recent site visit there, but all the backyards just kind of back up to each other, and because the roads are on opposite sides, the backyards are actually like touching each other. So we talking over with the homeowners, and just my personal kind of assessment was that it might be nice for everybody to have a bit of a solid fence. so that there's some degree of privacy. Because right now it's just like everybody's staring right into everybody else's kind of back of their house. So that was, I mean, obviously I know you guys have the right to approve or disapprove that, but that was the rationale for a solid fence as opposed to a see-through fence.
I
And
comment, Daniel.
Sure, go ahead.
I went and looked again at this backyard, and I think this kind of fence would be appropriate there. How tall is it going to be?
so I looked at the guidelines. Originally we normally do 6-foot fences, but I think the guidelines said 5, so I was submitted for a 5-foot fence.
5 feet?
5 feet, yes, correct.
Anyways, Daniel, I think that would be appropriate in this location.
Okay.
I'm looking at the drawing and it's kind of, at least on the PDF, it's hard to see, it's blurry. But if I'm looking at it, it looks like you're setting the fence on the property line.
I mean, we did that. Obviously, we'll probably put it like 6 inches in, so we're not encroaching anywhere. But yes, right at the property line, correct.
And that's on the back. Is that on the back end? Is that on the back and on the sides?
Sorry, I can walk you through it. It was done in green lines. So on the submission form, kind of the back right corner of the house, it would go kind of left to right toward the property line, then follow the property line to the upper right property pin, and then go about 3/4 of the way along the back property line, and then kind of at an angle, and that angle might be off by 5 or 10 degrees, but toward kind of like, I'm going to call it like toward the cliff. So it's just the fencing for their dog. And yeah, so it's actually it's not going to touch the house anywhere else because there's already like physical impediments.
Yeah, this is a big fence. I mean, this is going to go on the property line around the entirety of the backyard. And I'm seeing what you're talking about where it cuts off that little tip on the corner there,
yeah,
and then back to the property line. So for me, as submitted, this is a non-starter. I mean, I don't like that solid fence, due respect to Joe Jean. I just don't think we should ever start permitting solid fences. And if it's going to be on the property line, then that's a whole nother discussion, right? That requires a variance.
And I would want to see a letter from the neighbor.
Yeah, does it require, I mean, where would aren't fences normally put on the property line, or if you're,
No,
they're not.
What's the if you don't mind, explain to me how far off the property line does it need to be so they don't
5 feet off the property line.
I'm sorry?
5 feet off the
5
property
feet?
line.
Okay.
We do offer variances, but that's rare. And I think to Joe Jean's point, we have approved privacy screens that have openings. So this is not going to be a fortress. It would be probably carefully placed panels with openings between each panel. Again, I can't see that being up right on the property line. That would have to be a variance and also approval from the neighbor. And to then include even more fencing around the whole perimeter, I'm with Dan on that. I mean, the design you're presenting is probably not acceptable and not appropriate in Sudden Valley. And to Joe Jean's point, she's probably more aware of this than the rest of us. But if some sort of privacy screen is appropriate here, I would like to see it amended from what you're presenting here.
Okay. Can I ask a couple questions on the potential variance? Like, I'm
kind
of in Joe Jean's opinion. She saw it. If I was to get the some kind of written whatever communication from the neighbors that they were in support of this, do you think that would be enough for you guys to pass the variance to put it on the property line?
Not as a solid privacy screen.
Not if it's solid. Okay.
No.
So you don't care about the fact that it's not a sorry, I should rephrase that. It's not a mitigating factor that the backyards are facing each other. It's very unusual circumstance. I think it's not very typical.
I don't know that since I've been on the ACC, we've ever approved a solid privacy fence.
Okay.
Ever.
No, it's got to be like a staggered. So I mean, I get this. People come from other states. I came from California. I got to literally have an 8-foot tall fence around my property in California, right on the property line. And everybody likes that. That's the way they do it. It's not the way we do it in Sudden Valley. It's open space. Fences are generally discouraged, but they're allowed in certain cases for fencing in a dog or a kid in a smaller area. I mean, this is a perimeter fence around the whole yard, including a solid fence. I mean, this is goes way beyond what is normally allowed or approved from time to time. So you're gonna have to pull this thing way back and scale it back in its scope, at least from my perspective. I also had a question in the submittal. It talks about the decks, the orientation of the deck and stair location. Where does that fit into this? Just looking at the drawing.
Sure. And if you don't mind, if I could come back to the fence, but I can answer your question. So if you see in the site plan, there was a bunch of trees there and root balls. So where we originally had the deck and the stairs, it was gonna basically we would have had to rip out all the root balls, which would have killed the other tree. So we're requesting it's still within all the setback requirements and things like that. But as drawn, we can not damage the root ball and the existing root structure for the tree that remains.
So are you just sliding the deck to the right then?
Slide, not the whole deck, but sliding like that whole access portion in the staircase was going to be straighter right off the house. And actually, I think we did have to slide the deck a little bit to the right potentially as well.
So you're not changing the footprint of the deck, you're just moving it around.
Correct. So it's not larger, yeah. So it still meets all the requirements. Well, the county requirements.
And then before we get back to the fence, on that question for Jerry, on that gravel observation pad, is that something that counts against property coverage?
So gravel's kind of gray area, pun intended. But I'd say it falls under
open space, correct?
I'd say it falls under certain landscape features, which is the language used for things that do not count against open space. As long as it's not being used as a parking pad or a driveway, then I say that the gravel is good.
Okay.
Matt, you had a comment about the fence?
Sure. Just trying to get ahead of the game. When I talk to my clients, if that was an open fence for their dog, is it possible to do that on the property line, or is that not allowed either?
What do you mean an open fence?
So if at the very bottom of the submission, we gave you two different fence designs. One was solid, and then the other one is like a horse rail fencing that would keep in their dog. If that was the submission, would we be allowed to do that, or is that? Because it's see-through, right? But they do need something to keep their dog in. So wherever you guys tell us we need to put it, but I still need to fence the backyard somewhat for the dog.
Yeah, the entire perimeter, I would say probably no. We've always, when people come to us with those, we just ask them to pull that in considerably. And making it not visible to neighbors would help, but not for the whole perimeter of the yard.
But I think,
in my opinion,
to your question, Matt, if you came back and said, we're going to ditch the solid fence, privacy screens don't work for us because it doesn't keep the dog in, like alternating privacy screens is going to have gaps so that the animals can flow through them. That doesn't work for the dog. So we're going to just do a wood and wire fence the whole way. If you came back and said, we're going to pull that back, scale it back, the footprint size, and we're going to do wood and wire the whole way, this application looks different than what you have today.
Okay. And then do I need to pull it back 5 feet off the property line, or because in the backyard, some of the places with the topography, I don't even know if that's feasible. But what's your take on that 5 feet if it's an open fence like this metal fencing stuff?
Well, it still would require a variance, but at that point we'd go out and look at it and see, like, yeah, can reasonable people agree that a variance is more practical than trying to put it in a spot where it might not fit? I mean, we would look at that. I think the message that I would suggest you deliver to your client is like, what we submitted for is a bridge too far. We've got to pull this thing back. The solid wood fence is a no-go.
Okay.
If we want to put it closer to the property line or on the property line, we got to submit a variance and make a good reason for why we're doing that. So.
Okay. And would it help if they want to go that route, then have the neighbors sign off on that? Would that help if we do that?
Yeah, that would help.
Okay. Okay. I think I understand it. Thank you guys.
And you probably should either flag the location of the fencing or, line it out so that we could see when we come out there.
Okay. Will do.
Can I get a motion?
Yeah, I'll make a motion to deny as submitted and with the note that the gravel pad and the observation or the observation pad and the deck relocation seems to be acceptable, but the fence as submitted is not, and request that they come back with a reduced footprint and change in materials and any request for variance if it's going to be within the setback.
Is everybody good with that motion?
So we're approving the pad but denying the fence.
No, I can't do that.
They didn't submit it in part, so we have to deny it all.
Exactly.
But we can send them a signal that there's no issue with the pad or the deck. So
yes,
yeah, that's true. Yeah. Okay, so do you have that, Alan?
I sure do. Yeah.
Okay. All in favor of that amended motion?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
Okay.
You're opposed, Joe Jean?
Yeah, yes, I am.
All right, we'll go to number 10, 32 Lake Louise.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, Matt.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Is Ed with us?
Yeah, I'm over here.
I'm going to be sharing my screen if that's all right with you.
Yeah, go ahead, Jerry. I'm pulling it up here too, just a second. All right. So yeah, we had some concerns about this property. One of them, the proximity to the neighbors and the retaining wall that will be right at the neighbor's sort of side yard. And I think we spoke to you about this on Tuesday, and we asked about why we couldn't move that house over a little bit. It seems like it's sort of almost intentionally pushed up against the neighbor's property. And I think you mentioned something about topography, and it would be a little easier to build this house in the space it's in now. One of the purpose of the ACC is to make sure that new developments don't encroach on, our members or existing neighbors. And this one appears to me to encroach a bit. That's my general opinion. I don't have any solutions for you, but I really don't like having that big wall right there up against the neighbor's property.
I've got a question. I agree with everything Daniel just said, but I have a question for Jerry. We talked a little bit on Tuesday about the height, and while it meets the technical definition of the height, which is 15'8", can you walk us through, Jerry, how that is measured? And I'm looking specifically at item 10 of 22 in our packet, which shows the profile, the side profile and elevation. And as I understand the way you explained it to me, one of the ways to measure the height is off the back, but you don't measure from the floor grade. You measure from the fixed grade, which is basically measuring from go to the other one that has the measurement on the side. Item.
I think you get to go 10 feet away from the building. Is that right, Jerry?
It's 10 feet from the highest point of the eave. Or, hold on, I could pull up the policy. I always have to look this one up.
Well, but go look at it's item 10 of 22 in our packet. It's A5. It's elevation. It's page A5 that shows the. And that's the one where I think we're meeting the technical definition of the height, but I want to know, like, if we were to measure from the front instead of from the back.
Oh, you want a measurement from the front? I can give you that.
Yeah. What's the measurement from the front? Because I want to see what that looks like, because I think we're
It's
squeezing in.
33 feet from the front.
And what's the minimum, or what's the max that's allowed?
Well, hold on. That's from the final grade. It's measured from the existing grade, so it would be about 30 feet. I can give you a more precise measurement if you want, but from the front, it's 20 feet is generally the max allowed.
Right. Okay. So we can see that if you look at the way it's being measured, it's technically maybe meeting their requirements from a height standpoint, but it's being measured on the back. And the way it's being measured on the back is from a high point. So it's basically being measured from the second story up only in the back. And that's not where you're going to see this house from. This house you're going to see it from the road. And there's no way it meets the height requirements if you're looking at it from the road.
Yeah, I think just to make a distinction there, Dan, just because they do hit the right numbers on height, that doesn't mean we feel like it's an appropriate house for this space.
Exactly. That's my point, is that when you drive by, this thing's going to look like a skyscraper in that neighborhood. It's going to tower over everything else there.
Okay, so I misspoke. It is 30 feet from the front. So they do actually, from existing grade, meet our requirement, highest eve down to the existing grade, meet it squeaking under by 4 inches. So
right.
It does meet both of our height requirements, both in the rear and in the front. Though, again, that is to measure to existing grade. The actual structure is going to be taller because of the removing that earth, that existing grade.
Yeah, so if we were measuring with the final grade, it would not meet the
It would
requirements.
be
Is that
just
correct?
over by 3 feet.
Yeah, I think the main point here is that because this is such a tight spot, this house just appears to be too large for this space. The numbers are all there. I mean, there's always you can always use the measurements to your advantage, and all the numbers I'm looking at here are green, which are good. But as you look at this lot and look at this drawing and look where the neighbors are, this house does not seem to be the right house for this lot, especially in that location. And also with that retaining wall in the back, that's just too close to a neighbor. I mean, that's a steep drop, just a few feet off the neighbor's balcony.
So we denied this at our last meeting, and one of the requirements was to move the house or getting a letter from the neighbor saying that the design and size are acceptable.
Have you spoken to the neighbors about this proximity?
Are you asking me, Dan?
Yeah.
So what you requested was either move the house, and this was not a must. This was a suggestion. You made a suggestion. You said
Correct.
either move the house or get a letter from the neighbor. I went ahead. I moved the house 3 feet. That's what I did. You guys are pushing me up the hill from a shared property line. The neighbor is 4 feet away from the shared property line. You're pushing me up the hill. I'm at 8 feet already. I'm well within my rights. I'm not sure what else do you want from me. You know, this is you guys are being very unreasonable. I'm following the rules. I'm wasting a ton of money and time, and you keep coming up with new requirements. What are you doing? This is called abusing power. That's what it is.
What? Listen, Ed, I can tell
Yeah, I'm
you,
listening.
you're not going to get very far yelling at us and insulting
I'm
us.
not yelling. I'm just very frustrated because this is not okay. This is not acceptable.
And
I can understand
we didn't request anything. We required, it says we require either moving the house or getting a letter from the neighbor. And I'm going to tell you, when it comes to protecting the existing homeowners in Sudden Valley, that's my priority. And we've had a homeowner that has come to us. We've had a homeowner that has come to us and said they're very concerned about this house. They're looking at having to spend tens of thousands of dollars to move a deck to the other side or to the front of their house so they don't have this skyscraper next to them looking over at them at their deck. I'm going to pay a lot of attention to that. I don't really care whether we build another house in Sudden Valley. I care about the existing homeowners. So you're going to have to comply with the requests and the requirements of the HOA, or you're not going to get this house built. It's that simple.
Dan, okay, with all due respect, how tall is your house, Dan?
Oh, I don't know. But I didn't submit approval for build. I didn't submit approval to build.
Yeah, I know you didn't submit, but your house is pretty tall, and you're right there next to me over there.
And I have said for the record, there's no way in hell I would have approved the building of my house.
Well, again, you're living there. Don't be a hypocrite. You can live there, but nobody else can build a house. I'm within the rules. You know that.
Gentlemen, let me intercede here as your facilitator. Yeah, let's take a moment. Everybody take a moment to inhale, relax. Yeah, it's not productive. It's not productive.
The main point here is this house, it from curb appeal. I mean, when we're looking at this house from the front, this looks like a very big house, which is fine. That's fine if you have the lot for it. And if Dan's house is big, I mean, that's not an issue that we ever talked about on the ACC. I don't know how that happened. Maybe it's not right, and that's why we're trying to make it right going forward.
I'm following the rules, Daniel.
You are following
the rules. What else can I do? Do you understand that I'm investing tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars? I'm following your rules, and now you're saying, listen, the rules are there, but we're above the rules. You wrote the rules. I'm just following them. What else do you want? What else do you want? I can't come up with some crazy new solution. I'm way too invested into this. I'm all in the green. You can see that I'm all in the green, and you just keep coming up with new stupid excuses to deny.
As we look at each one of these properties on its own merits, from the committee's opinion, this house looks too big for this lot, and it's too close to the neighbors. We understand that
you need to stop abusing power. That's what you're doing. You're abusing power and halting this project. We're in the watershed. We're in the watershed. What are you doing? We're in the watershed.
I'm not getting anything from this power. I'm not. I'm looking out for my neighbors. I don't know these people that live.
I'm a neighbor myself.
Daniel, I've muted Ed.
Okay.
Can I ask a question? I'm trying to find the square footage. What's the total square footage on this house?
I can give you that information. Let's see, it should be in my report here. Square footage. Well, I can give you the open space and the property coverage.
No, I was looking at the square footage of the house. I'm trying to see, like what's the living space?
Just the raw number.
Yeah, is it 1,500 square feet, 3,000 square feet? Oh, there it is.
The total roof area here.
Tiny footprint.
I'm just looking at the square footage. Like, is
it's
it
about 26? It's about 26. It's somewhere on the plans. It's about 26. I can't remember the exact number.
So it's not a huge house, but it's also not a small house. I mean, it's
an average house. It's an average house. The bottom floor is there just so because of the driveway requirements. We have to meet the slope, the new slope requirements, and so that bottom floor, as you can see, it's all garage space and an entrance. That's it. There's no bedrooms down there. It's just garage and an entrance. The neighbor's house is just a stall. It's just that they have a steep driveway going all the way to the second floor. I'm over here trying to meet the new slope requirements. We're digging lower. That's why the house looks taller. It's not because the house is, super tall. It's tall because we dug lower, or we're planning to dig lower. It's going to be very close to the neighbor's house. Their house sits higher and has a steeper driveway, if that makes sense.
Alan, you sent around the arborist report that was provided with this. I didn't get a chance to go through it in much detail. I'm wondering if Terry or anybody else did, because one of the things we looked at in a previous conversation was trying to preserve as many trees as possible. It looks like we're not able to do that. So moving the house further to the right, since we're taking the trees out anyway, is that an option to slide this house further to the right since the trees are coming out anyway?
You're pushing me uphill. I can't slide any further uphill. You're pushing me uphill. I'm already at 12% when it comes to the slope, and it's 15% the max. I don't want to push higher uphill. It makes no sense. Why would you push me uphill? I'm already 8 feet away on the back corner from the shared property line. The front corner of the house is 13 feet away from the neighbor. Why are you trying to push me further uphill? What's the goal with that? The neighbor or the people who built the house over there knew that it's a buildable lot next to them. I don't know why they faced the decks towards this lot. That's kind of dumb. At the same time, the neighbor is already encroaching with his deck into the 5-foot setback. You can see that on the survey. So I don't know why you're trying to push me uphill. It's already pretty tight.
I think one of my biggest issues is that retaining wall and how close it is to the neighbor's property.
I provided the engineering. I don't know what else you want from me. You measured to the eaves. When I submitted the application, you measured to the eaves. Pull up the application. It's green because the ACC inspector measured to the eaves. If you're going to tell me that you're going to try to measure to the retaining walls, well, there's no language anywhere publicly available saying that you measure to the retaining wall, that the retaining walls can't be in the setbacks. None of that is publicly available.
The retaining wall, only because it's so steep there. That's why I'm looking at that.
It's Sudden Valley. What do you expect?
I know, but
are we living on a flat land or what? Have you seen the lot?
I'm thinking about the neighbors walking.
The neighbor sold the lot, buddy. The neighbor sold the lot. He knew what he was selling. He knew what he signed up for. It's engineered. Look at the engineering. If you have problems with it, look at the engineering.
I'm not talking about the engineering. I'm talking about that open space that's that close to their property.
I'm building on my lot. If the neighbor is concerned, he can put up railing. He can do whatever he wants. I'm building on my lot.
Well, I mean, we want to help you do that.
It sounds like you're trying to abuse power and trying to hold this project in the watershed.
We don't have any power. We don't. We're not getting anything out of this other than protecting Sun Valley and our neighbors.
I'm a member of this community as well, and I'm a neighbor as well. And you do not represent me at all. You're just fighting against me right now.
We're spending a lot of time trying to.
Yeah, you're not being reasonable at all. You're just trying to freaking come up with some crazy excuses not to allow me to build. That's what you're doing.
You're allowed to build. This is a buildable lot. We want to make sure that the house that you put here is appropriate.
It is appropriate. It is appropriate. It's within the guidelines. I followed the rules, and I'm exercising my right.
I understand your perspective. Our committee looks at these houses, these designs, and determines whether they are appropriate. We've got no power other than the fact that we're looking out for you and all the neighbors.
You're not looking out for me. You're not looking out for me. That's already noticeable. You're not looking out for me. You're doing everything you can to not look out for me.
We look at the composite, Ed. We look at the composite of the project, which includes the neighbors, which includes the site itself. You're correct that it meets the technical requirements, but the approval process is not just doesn't meet the technical requirements. That's just one set of metrics that we look at to say, is there any variances required to build this house? Is there anything that we need to do exceptionally different on this place than we do on other ones? And then we look at it in the composite. We looked as, does it fit the lot? Does it fit the neighborhood? If it encroaches on the neighbors in any way, do we have issues with the neighbors there? So we look at the composite. It's not just meeting the technical definition. I have a question that's unrelated to you. I have a question for Jerry or for Alan. It appears that almost the entirety of the retaining wall is within the setback, almost on the property line. That requires a variance, correct?
Correct.
That does not require a variance, and your own ACC inspector will tell you that.
What I can do is I can pull up
my application, Jerry, and let's see how you measured when I submitted my application.
And I can pull up our definition of a setback. And here, I'll share my screen here.
Let me point out further that this is not just a retaining wall. This is a steep retaining wall. And when you have that kind of a drop so near a neighbor's property, that's a big concern for me.
Well, you approved a bunch of these. I'm currently working on a house with retaining wall in the setbacks. What changed within the last year? Did you write a new rule and just haven't told anybody about it?
Ed, we look at each property on its own merits.
Well, where's consistency? Where's consistency? How can we invest into Sudden Valley? How can we buy a lot and be sure we can build on it if you keep changing the definitions as you wish? You can't just wake up and call black white and white black. You can't do that. You gotta show consistency. We dump hundreds of thousands of dollars into these projects based on the rules and based on what we know, what we've already built. You can't just come up with new rules. You can't.
We encourage you to bring these designs to the committee.
I brought the design.
Before you actually go through the process of.
Yeah. I brought the design. You saw the design. I don't know what the problem is. Jerry looked at it. It's a complete application. I don't need a variance. You took the $7,000 because the application was completed. I did not need any variances. Jerry measured to the eaves. There's no written language anywhere saying that you measure to the retaining walls. And so don't try to come up with this new rule now. Go write it down. Have people vote on it. Don't just come up with new rules.
Hold on, Ed.
as you feel.
Jerry, go ahead.
So setbacks will be measured to the structure where roof projections and decks are defined as being included in the structure. Rules as written, and I think I can speak to the intent of this rule, is setbacks are supposed to apply to the house. Now,
exactly.
There has been an argument that retaining walls are structural. And I believe this is what Daniel is saying when he wants the retaining wall to be in the setbacks.
He can want whatever
retaining
he wants.
walls
he can just come up with new rules.
Are very commonly put in the setbacks.
Exactly.
Many projects have been approved in the past where the retaining wall was within the setback.
Exactly. With no variance requests.
Well, we have an agenda item later on where there's a retaining wall that's going in the setback, and they've submitted a variance for that. When I read that,
it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't happen.
I don't want to argue with you. When I read that sentence, it says setbacks will be measured to the structure where roof projections and decks are defined as being included in the structure. What it defines is the structure. So we're talking about anything structural when then there's a note there that says, and roof projections and decks are defined as being included in the structure. It doesn't say they're being defined as being the structure. It says they're included in the structure. So when you've got a project here that has a very large retaining wall from both length and height, and almost the entirety of it is within the setbacks, I think in order to be clean, we have to have a variance to put that retaining wall in that setback.
Why don't you look at my application? Jerry, can you pull up my application? Can you pull up page 3 specifically, please?
Yep. All right.
Let's just take a peek at page 3 real quick on the application. Page 3 right there. Zoom in on it, please, Jerry. Let's read the setbacks. 7 feet 8 inches rear setback, side setback 5 feet 2 inches. Scroll back up, Jerry. Scroll slightly back up. It says ACC Inspector Report 32 Lake Louise Drive. So when I submitted this application about a month and a half ago, Sudden Valley measured to the eaves. Now Dan Vink is saying that he reads the rules differently. Well, when the application was submitted, everything was measured by Sudden Valley to the eaves. So don't try to come up with new rules now and enforce them because you feel like it. That's unfair and that's messed up. That's evil. Don't do that. The application was submitted and the inspector measured to the eaves. So don't come up with new rules now because you feel like it. That's messed up. That's abusing power. That's what it is.
I didn't come up with new rules.
Guidance for us.
Read your own numbers. Read your own numbers. Sudden Valley measured to the eaves. All right? That's what Sudden Valley is.
I'm not going to proceed with this.
No, I think we need to
we're-
table this item. We don't have a landowner or homeowner or applicant here that wants to do anything other than yell at us. And just for the record, I'm not saying that is the rule. I read it that way, but that's why I asked the question. Are retaining walls included in the requirements for variance in the setback? I think we need to get clarity on that, particularly.
I think we do, but
there is
I think as far as I'm concerned, the variance is irrelevant. I think it's inappropriate to have those walls that close because of the height of those walls, to have them that close to and to that extent to
I'm within
the
the
neighboring
rules.
properties.
I'm within the rules. I'm
You are
within the rules. I'm
Ed,
within the rules.
Ed, just so you know, we look at this as a guidance. You know, we see your numbers are good, and that's
I
that's great.
invested hundreds of thousands of dollars.
I know you did, Ed, but
and
our
this is
committee,
not okay. You can't just bend the rules as you wish. You can't do that.
Okay, well, I can't talk to you, so I think we'll just we can't. Can we table this, Alan, or what?
Joe Jean had something to say.
Let's listen to Joe Jean and Patrick, because only you guys are talking. Let's listen to Joe Jean and Patrick. I want to hear their input.
I wanted to remind the committee that in the past, we have denied a building of a house that was going to be 3-story high next to a 1-story house, and it was going to be really close to the property line. And we denied it because it didn't fit in to the houses in the neighborhood, just like this one's gonna do. You know, so we can deny, even though he's following all the rules, because it doesn't fit in the neighborhood, we've denied a building in the past.
I think Joe
Thank you,
Jean's
Joe Jean.
about 72 Windward.
Patrick, did you have a comment?
Yeah, you know, I don't think that a neighbor should have to incur expenses to maintain his property with the view by adding this deck because the house going in next door blocks what he had before. You know, and he's right there. He shouldn't have to have that expense.
Terry, do you have a comment?
Well, I'm mainly focused on the fact that all the trees on this lot are essentially gone. I don't see any that are left.
Hey, Terry, can I just tell you that this is based on the arborist report. Some of them are rotting, and because of the utilities, they have to go no matter what. There's a dead tree as well, the 35-inch hemlock next to the retaining wall. That's a dead tree. And so the 40-inch maple is staying, but the rest have to go because of the utilities, and rot, utilities, and one is dead.
Well, I feel like the consensus here is that we feel like this house in its location is not appropriate for this lot. I think moving it over may change the story quite a bit.
I already did move it over.
We don't have new measurements for
what?
What will happen when the house moves over? What did you say? 3 feet?
I moved the house 3 feet. I did move the house, and the setbacks are provided. You can verify. Jerry can pull measurements. I did move the house as requested. What else do you guys want from me? I already did move the house.
Well, we haven't heard from the neighbors. Did they want to speak at this point?
Was this house, did it go in concept before you submitted your application?
That's what I was trying to suggest, Patrick, that we do encourage an in-concept submission so you avoid this. I mean, I know we're aware that you put in a lot of expense in this and a lot of time, and that's why these in-concept applications are so important. We could have avoided this whole conversation if you had presented that.
Daniel, with all due respect, I haven't done that because I met all the requirements. I didn't have any noticeable issues. I was within the rules. When I submitted, I was told this is a strong submission. You're way within the rules, and I was pretty confident going in. I didn't think it's gonna trigger any issues because I didn't have any variances. I didn't need anything extra. I was just submitting within the rules, and so I didn't even want to think about in concept because it was a solid submission, and yeah, that's why.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. You're playing by the rules, and I think you're doing this all in good faith. But we do as a committee, and you've heard all of us feel that, even though that your numbers are good, it's just not right for that lot. That's our
Daniel, your
point.
feelings,
And
your
it's not
feelings
and it's not
shouldn't
one
dictate anything. I mean, saying I feel, I mean, you can feel however you want. I'm building by the rules over here. I can't go with your feelings and design based on your feelings, Daniel. That's just impossible. Does that make sense? How can
Let
I
me,
go
Ed,
with your
it's, it's,
feelings?
let me intercede. That's precisely what the ACC does. It's design and aesthetics. Once the fundamental numbers are there, it's about design and aesthetics. How do you describe subjective viewing a house doesn't fit the neighborhood? There's no numbers for that. It's feelings. You look at it and you see whether it fits or not. Back to you guys.
Okay,
and
okay. When it
our
comes to,
committee
yeah, go
and,
ahead.
and our committee votes on it. It's not
I
just
understand.
one person's opinion. We actually took the time to go out and look at the space, and we made a determination. We've spent a lot of time trying to help you and trying to help your neighbors to make this build appropriate. My
You're not
view is
helping
that
me.
it's not appropriate as submitted, even though you did hit all the numbers that you're supposed to, and you worked in good faith. And I'm sorry to be at this point, but I feel like this is not an appropriate house or a location for the house as
I'm
submitted.
Yeah, I'm willing to change the color of the house. I'm willing to change the exterior finishes as siding and such. But when it comes to the footprint and the size, I'm well within the rules. If and Alan, as Alan mentioned, you can say how you feel about it. And when it comes to colors and siding type, we can discuss that. But when I'm well within the rules, size wise, um, the feelings don't really do much over here. I'm within the rules. So when it comes to the color, okay, I understand. When it comes to siding type, okay, I understand. We can talk about your feelings, but when it comes to the actual footprint and engineering and the
Now,
architectural side of things,
we consider all those things, Ed. Alan, are the neighbors there, and do they want to speak to this?
Yes, we are here. This is Gary
Okay.
Guevara. We are at 30 Lake Louise Drive. We feel like the proximity of the proposed house location to ours is way too close. Renders both of our decks useless. Takes away our view because the house is going to be a giant compared to us. We feel like, looking at the lot size, that the house could be moved over to the north. The footprint on your house is only 36% of the lot size. I don't understand why it would not be centered on the lot instead of being right up against our house. And that location would devalue our house if we were to want to sell it. I don't think people would want to buy it given the proximity to the other house. So, we can either sell our house and move out before you build this monster, or we can do other things, which we have a proposal for. That would cost us around $90,000 just to have our open space back again because our decks are rendered unusable. So
yeah.
my opinion is center the house in the lot to the south. Yep. And we would be okay, but 3 foot away is not moving it enough. And then the retaining wall in the back, then that's crazy. I mean, it's just crazy. So that's my concern. It's going to cost us money if you build that close to our house, either in value of our house or in having to now build another deck so that we have some space to be outside.
Can I address that? Can I reply to Gary?
Sure.
Hey, Gary, Ed here. Listen, Gary, you were the one who told me that the neighbor came to you first and offered you this lot for about 75, 80 grand.
It was
Now you're stating,
85. It was 85,000. I thought
yeah,
it was way too much. We consulted with our real estate broker, and she indicated that
All right.
it
Well,
wasn't worth
actually, I
that much.
think that's kind of off the point at this
Yes.
point.
my point is that Gary had the opportunity to buy this lot for
Yeah,
cheaper than now he's saying
that
it's going to cost him. And so he decided not to buy. I purchased with the intent to build, and that's what I'm going to do. And it's out on the market for anybody to buy it. And he was the first one who got the offer. The neighbor came to him first and offered him first. And so I'm not sure what the problem is.
I have
Hey,
a question.
Right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Patrick.
Jerry, can you pull up 13.3 where it talks about the powers of the Architectural Control Committee?
Sure, yeah.
Good
I have a
point,
question
Patrick.
while you're pulling that up. I have a question. I don't like to just say no to somebody unless it's, pretty obvious that we just need to say no. Like, I mean, he's come with a project that does meet the technical requirements. We have to look at it from the aesthetics as well, and that's what we're doing. But I don't like to just say, no without offering some solutions. So I think the issue about moving the house further to the right, there's quite a bit of room on the lot to go to the right, but as you push the house to the right, you end up with more of a slope on the driveway, and then you may not meet the technical definition of the slope requirement on the driveway.
Yes,
I'm
yes.
not an engineer, but my question is, if you took the house and moved it, so it looks to me like there's quite a bit of room on the right. Can you just go back to that real quick, Secretary, before we do that?
Sure, yeah.
The image you were
Alan,
just on?
you stole my screen here. Okay.
So my question is, if you move the house to the right, if you just kept the driveway as is, it would be likely be a very steep driveway and exceed the 15%. But what if you moved the house to the right, but left the approach to the driveway where it is now and just had a longer driveway?
I
So
can't, Dan. I'm gonna. It's since the rules now are changed to where the driveway is a part of the footprint. I can't do that because that's gonna increase the footprint.
Well, Ed, in this case, maybe just hitting the green numbers isn't necessarily important. We will
It is
consider
important. You know
variances
that
for
it's
this.
important. You know that it's important. That's the main thing that we're trying to hit. That's
But
what we go by to design.
if we tell you you can't build this house the way it is, and we want you to move it to the right, and you come back and say, well, I've moved it to the right, I've centered it on the lot, but now I'm not, but the end result is now I've got a longer driveway and I don't meet the property coverage requirement or I don't meet the open space requirement because I have a longer driveway. We look at that and say, well, we were the ones that requested you to do that. So in that case, yeah, maybe we grant a variance for an overage on open space or something to that effect. That's what we're trying to do here. This is
Yeah, but I already
this
moved
is
the
an
house.
iterative back and forth process. So I'm
I
sorry,
already moved the house.
I wanted to put that out there as a potential discussion item. I think Alan's got a good point that we've gone really long on this one, but Patrick wanted to see the policy, so I think, sorry to interrupt.
I already moved the house as you requested.
You got that, Jerry?
Yep.
I wonder if I could ask a question. This is Libby.
Hey, Libby.
So our house, the driveway is on the easement, so it's actually Sudden Valley property, and there's an easement on the other side of his house plan. So what is the situation there with using that as the driveway? Is that something that's not done anymore? I'm because he's got a lot of green space over there, and I just am wondering how the easement on that side plays into all this.
Okay, so that's parkland. We don't like to put driveways on parkland generally.
Okay.
Also, we did the grade up here becomes rapidly very steep. It's about 3 times the slope on the right side of the property that is on the left side of the property.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Are we sure that that's parkland? Because when I looked at it, I pulled it up when we were out there the other day with
I can
Ed,
double
and
check.
it looked to me like it was more like right away for yeah, it looked more like it was right away for a road. Like it doesn't show it connects. There's a Sudden Valley driveway road up above there, and it looked to me like that parcel was all connected to the existing Sudden Valley roads. It wasn't a separate parcel for green space.
Right.
So I think the question, Libby's got a good question, is rather than having a driveway on the where it is, if the house moved over to the right, could they access that Sudden Valley easement? If you pull that up and look at it, you can see that that's not a green space. That's a singular parcel that's all connected to Sudden Valley roads.
Uh, Dan, I'll just tell you that it would be too steep to meet today's driveway requirements.
Well, what
Gary's,
Dan is telling you is we will consider variances on that.
why would you want variances when I'm already within the rules? Why are you pushing me to get variances? I don't understand. I mean, I'm within my rights. I'm far from the setback lines. The back is 8 feet, the front is 13. Why are you trying to push me to the other side where the lot gets narrower,
Jerry, could you pull
steeper?
that up
Yeah, I'm
also,
sorry to
please?
interrupt. Patrick was taking us in a good direction. I think he was getting ready to resolve this for us.
So
Yeah.
here's the parcel we're talking about. This one at Lake Louise. And you guys see my cursor?
I see it, yes.
Okay. So this is the parcel. Generally we call all of this green space that's connected. Though yeah, I guess it is part of the Sun Valley property, whether you want to call that a right of way or you want to call that parkland, that's I'm not sure which it is, but yeah, an easement, if it were granted, would be, quite steep. It could either connect Grandview or it could connect Lake Louise. Though again, it would be pretty ridiculous driveway. Again, it's gonna have to connect somehow to the property. And right now he's at the do you see when I switch my screen, or are you guys still looking at the other map?
I'm looking at the map right now.
Okay. So I'll just give you the measurements of what we're looking at. So from right now, his driveway is at about the maximum percent that we allow here. And the change in elevation from this topo line to the top is 5 feet. Here on the right side, the change is from 105, and let's say he's bringing it up to the same to 112. So that's going to be a much larger increase of about 2 feet larger of an increase. And if, about an inch of increase is about 2%, 3 feet or 2 feet of increase is going to be, probably placing this driveway somewhere around 25 to 35%.
Well, my question is, if you left the approach coming off of Lake Louise where it is and just extended that to the house that was moved, would that lengthening of that driveway, I mean, it will mathematically reduce the slope. Will it reduce it enough to get it down to an acceptable level? So essentially, instead of having a short driveway that goes from the road up to the house, you're going to have a longer driveway that's going to kind of run perpendicular to the road for a little ways before it gets to the house.
All right, let's see. So if we're starting at 100 and we're ending at um 110, 112, and it's over a length of, let's measure, 63.5 feet, let's say. Let's go bring up a rise over run calculator. 2%.
That's exactly what I'm talking about. If you went from there to there instead of straight up, what would that look like?
That's going to look like a 20-foot retaining wall, Dan, in the back of the house.
No, I'm just asking the question.
Well, I'm telling you that. Just think about the driveway.
We're at 15.7, which isn't terrible. It's not within what we allow, but it is what we allow with remediation.
All right.
Yeah.
Before we got on this subject, Patrick wanted to see the language, and I'm sorry that I interrupted that. We should probably go back to that and then find a way to get through this. We've been on it a long time.
You have that, Jerry?
Yeah, I do. 1 second.
I saw it on your tab.
Okay. Hold on.
I've got it if you need it.
I've got you in a window. That's my problem. There we go. So the committee shall have the right to disapprove any plans, specifications, or details submitted to it in the event the same are not in accordance with all provisions of these policies. If the design or color scheme of the proposed building or other structures is not in general harmony with the general surroundings of the property or with adjacent buildings or structures, if the plans or specifications are incomplete, or in the event the committee deems the plan, specification, details, or any part thereof to be contrary to the interests, welfare, or rights of all or any part of the property subject hereto, or the owners here or thereof. Decisions of the committee.
That's what I was pointing out.
Will be final.
Is that you can meet all the specifications.
Oh,
you there, Patrick?
Did we lose you, Patrick?
We lost Patrick.
That last underlined sentence is interesting also.
Yeah, the committee considers each property individually, and variances granted in one situation may not be granted in another.
Yeah, that's common sense, obviously.
And that's really what we do here. I mean, if you could just hit the numbers, you wouldn't need our
I'm not
committee.
asking for variances. I'm not asking for variances. I can't design if you are not willing to go with your own rules. I can't design anything. I can't work with you
And
guys.
we have the rules. We have the rules.
You're
and
not
if
being
it was
reasonable.
just about the rules,
you got to be
you
reasonable.
would need our committee. Our committee is looking out for Sudden Valley. So we look at these rules and we interpret whether we think
you're not looking out for me. You're not looking out for me.
Do we have enough to go on, give some direction, give some feedback?
Yeah,
I'm not going to be making a motion on this one. I don't want to be accused of putting my thumb on the scale.
I think that I would. Anybody else want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion. I move that we deny it as submitted.
And I think that you got enough information from our, I don't know how long this conversation was. You have our input. I think quite a bit of that input. So based on that, I think Joe Jean's motion is appropriate.
What is the reason? I don't see.
We've been talking to you for
You've been talking. That's it. I haven't heard a good reason. Dan doesn't want to vote for a reason because there is no good reason. All right.
No, he's not
You,
making a motion.
yeah, yeah.
Joe Jean has made a motion. Does
For what's the
anybody
reason?
else on the
Give me a
committee
reason.
have?
Alan,
I'm sorry. Does anybody else on the committee have a comment on Joe Jean's motion?
not to the motion, but on the reasoning, Alan, are you able to put together a summary for Ed so that it's not just a deny, but here's why it was denied?
There were too many topics discussed to effectively capture it. I would simply refer to the recorded conversations.
And I think there's ample conversation.
I think
Patrick?
One of the reasons in denying is that it's contrary to the interest, welfare, or rights of all, meaning their neighbors next door.
There you go.
They shouldn't have to incur additional expense because they're building the structure next to them.
They don't have to. They want to. They don't have to.
All in favor of Joe Jean's motion then?
You guys are just abusing power.
Aye.
You guys are just abusing power. You're just abusing power. This is messed up. I submitted everything according to the rules, and you guys are denying me for no reason. This is my second time here.
I can add something. We're denying it because we don't feel that it fits in the neighborhood. And we have done that before on other homes. And maybe if he made it 2 stories instead of 3, we may have a different opinion.
Jojin, I can't. If I make it a 2-story, I won't meet the driveway slope. I'm digging lower to lower the driveway. That third.
Take the instead take the top floor off and don't have so much garage on the
Jojin, there's a lot of tall houses.
We've made a lot of suggestions. Ed, we've made a lot of suggestions for you. Please refer to them, refer back to them, and I hope you appreciate all the time we spent working with you to try to make this work.
You guys
so,
are
do I have a unanimous vote on this? Did we all say aye?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Did you get that, Alan?
Got it.
Ed, we look forward to working with you further on this. We want to help you, but we have to look up for the neighbors too.
I'm a neighbor as well. You're not helping.
Where to next?
Okay, let's move to item 8. Lake Louise Drive.
Libby and Gary, that's your guess.
Yeah, we're here.
Are you there, Libby? Yeah. Okay. So we went and looked at your property and what you were proposing. We realized you're considering going into the setback a little bit. My view was that it even though it is a setback, it's not. I don't think it's an imposing structure, and I think one of the other members added that it may even help the curb appeal of the house. It seems like a nice design. Anybody else have any comments about the structure?
Well, I guess I have a question for Libby and Gary. Given this discussion that we just had, if the house next door doesn't go forward, which I'm sure it will at some point, but if he ends up moving it or changing it, does that change your decision or your request to do this? I mean, I'm not suggesting you pull the request. I'm just wondering if that changes it. So.
Yes, it would change it if he would move the house to the center of his lot. That would give us some space to use our decks. Right now, as it stands, he's giving us nothing to look at other than the side of his house. So, yes, that would be something that we would consider. However, without any decision on the house next door, we have to go forward with what we know, and that would be this deck.
Yeah, and we can't tell you exactly what it sounds like. He's pretty insistent on building something there, and you know, sometimes it's just bad luck that somebody does build, and there's nothing we can do about it. But that's just how it is. I've had a neighbor move into like that, and it changed the appearance. So we can't guarantee what it's going to end up looking like. That we hope Ed works with us a little bit on that. But given that there's an uncertainty, I assume that you want to just proceed then.
Yes, with the uncertainty, we do want to proceed. There is something I did want to mention about the drawings that was submitted. Libby and I had decided there's an outside stairway up to the deck, and we both decided that we did not want that stairway in there. So it would just be the deck itself and not the stairway.
Okay.
Unless there's a reason that we need to do that, but security wise, it's nice not to have another access to the house from the downstairs.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So when looking at like I think the deck itself standalone looks like a nice feature. I think the issue then becomes like in order to build it where you want it requires a variance. And so is the variance because and this is probably a Jerry or Alan question. If the deck is over top of the setback, does that require a variance, or is it just because the deck posts, the support posts are in the 20-foot setback, it requires a variance, or is it both?
So
yeah, I think it would be like an eave.
Yeah, so as we discussed just recently, in fact, the decks are included in the structure of the house. So we do measure. It could be a railing, could be a post. We do measure how far it projects, basically.
So to answer
So
your
the stairs,
it's both.
The stairs, if they, who is this?
Just
You,
Alan.
Alan?
I was just
Okay,
saying
go
it's
ahead,
both.
Alan.
We have a variance for both the setback and the coverage.
Okay.
Now, if both of these items were approved, you don't necessarily need to go ahead and start constructing it, depending on the outcome at 32 Lake Louise.
That's correct. I believe you have 6 months to proceed with an ACC item, and then worst thing that happens, if you decide you haven't done it then and you still want to, you just reapply. No costs, no harm done.
Okay, so the concern I would have is that they're going to have to do something to the ground to put those posts in, which then you run into the disturbing the land and
You're fine. You're fine with that. We're into the moratorium is lifted. Oh, I mean, you want to do it in the future? Yeah, you would be bound by the end of the land use moratorium. I believe it's June 1st.
Well, it's 500 square feet. I'm not sure you'd need to move that much.
No.
Oh, 500 square feet of soil.
Yeah.
Okay, but it starts June 1st and ends. When does it end? If it did apply?
September 1st.
September 1st. And then you said there was a coverage variance. One of the things that Mike told us was that we were kind of surprised by a few things when he went investigating our property, but that the bottom part of 2/3 of our driveway is on Sudden Valley property, is an easement.
That's normal. Everybody does that. Driveways cross Sudden Valley property to connect your private property to the roads. That's a REPA. Yeah.
I believe he took that out and then said our coverage should be fine. We also own the property up the hill behind us. So
you own the property up the hill behind you.
Yeah, I guess
okay, that changes things. You don't need to.
I guess it's beside us. It's so confusing because our side yard faces the street, so it's on the opposite side yard, and we have that property up the hill.
Okay, well, I wasn't aware that you owned another parcel, so that would definitely bring you in compliance for property coverage. You were only 2% over, so yeah.
Would that be 28 Lake Louise is the one uphill?
No, I think it's, what is it? We're on 82. Is that correct?
You're on 82, and I'm guessing it's
And
off Grandview Lane. That's
81, I think yeah, 81.
81. Yeah.
Yeah, we own 81 and 82.
Got it.
Are
Okay.
those two
Yeah,
lots, are those two lots joined?
Yes,
Yeah.
through Sudden Valley.
They're bound.
They're bound.
Okay.
Obviously, through the county, we still pay separate property tax on that land, but through Sudden Valley, they're bound together.
So does anybody have any issue with this design for the front of the house?
I think it looks great.
Yeah, I do too.
Yeah, we were happy with it.
Are you ready to make a motion on this?
I move to approve.
Item 8.
Do you want to do the
8
consent
and-
agenda for both? Okay, go ahead.
8 and 9, if one is needed for 9.
We do.
Yeah,
Okay.
for the front coverage.
I will move to approve 8 and 9.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, thanks for coming in today.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Appreciate it.
Daniel, we have another user has joined. Hello, Zoom
Okay.
user. This is Alan. Can you hear me?
This is Vitali.
Oh, very
Hey,
good. Thank
Vitaly, you made it.
You guys didn't do mine yet, I'm assuming?
Not
No,
yet.
we're waiting for you.
Beautiful. Well, let's go. I'm ready. Give me the next one.
Let's see. Do we have anybody else here waiting, Alan?
I am. Hang on. Yes. We have Josh at 8 Lake Louise, item 7. Justin, item 19. And then Vitaly.
We did 19 already, didn't we?
Yeah, we did that already.
Did we? Oh, okay. Justin, you're still hanging out. Very good.
Has Josh been here for a while?
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the first to arrive.
All right. Well, let's go with item 7 with Josh.
Hi, good morning. I'm gonna have to come in and out on mute because I kept my kids together for as long as I could, so I'll be here.
Okay. Yeah, I think we looked at this one a few times.
Thanks for coming out the other day. We did straighten this out as much as we could. We had Jerry come out and measure it yesterday. We think we're pretty close there. I don't know exactly what the numbers came out to be, but I think we pretty much did everything that we could to get this driveway to where everybody would be happy.
So you're putting in a grooved finish, and it looked like you had some drainage pieces to go in the driveway too.
Correct, that's right. We'll have a drainage that'll comply with it.
Okay. Yeah, this is a case where, a longer driveway is actually, safer. You're not within our numbers, but, we want to make these houses right and appropriate for the space. And this is a situation, I think, where we're using that variance.
Yeah, we went out and looked at this, and I walked that driveway, and I can tell you it's not as steep as mine. And given the fact that it's a longer driveway, and I think the turnaround at the top is going to be very helpful. Josh, are you going to be living there?
Yes, this is I'm the owner for my 2 kids and my wife. Yep.
Yeah, I think you'll find that your ability to back out of the garage and then go forward down the driveway is going to be a huge help. I don't have any issue with it. I had one question just on the exterior color. Is that the final color, or is it still going to get painted?
No, that was just the primer because I knew it was going to sit for a while.
Okay. All right.
Is there a variance for this, Alan?
No.
This is over 15, isn't it?
It is.
It's a construction change request.
So
So
I'm
don't we
guessing the
need to make that a
reason.
variance?
When I submitted, Alan recommended just for submitting this, but I could put in a variance request.
Was this this might have been approved before the January, Daniel?
So the reason I'm going to say that it's not a variance is because we do allow up to 20% grade with remediation.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure our paperwork is in place.
Yeah, we're good.
Can we get a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 You've done a nice job with that site. I go by there every day and it's being kept it clean and neat and you're not parking trucks all over the road. So appreciate that.
We're trying. Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, let's talk to Vitaly. Which number was that for, Ellen?
14 and 20. I'm sorry, 12 and 20. "14 Deer Run"
And then 20 was the variance.
is the variance.
Jerry, could you go over the this piece for us, please?
Sure. We have a change to retaining walls. Before they were north-south, or I guess west-east running, and now they are north-south running. They are within the 5-foot setback. No easement required, but a variance has been filed for these retaining walls. The slope of the driveway is of concern because the house was built too tall. But as submitted, we're looking at 13.7%, which is under our 15%. But just know that it is an estimation based on math that might have changed. So
This is the one where the foundation was poured too tall?
that's the one, yes.
Right, okay.
So you're estimating that it'll probably the slope will be okay? Is that it?
That's our estimation, that it will be okay. But there's a little more margin of error here than most properties.
So my concern about the retaining walls is not so much that they're in the setback, but what do they look like? Are they big drop-offs that could be dangerous, or what's the height there by the property lines?
So they're approved to be up to 7 feet tall, but that is at maximum. That's basically the maximum allowable that you can stack Allen block. Before it has to be switched to something sturdier like concrete. This will be terraced to the side. As for what it will look like in the end, we're going to have to use our imagination. We don't have any renderings or anything like that that would show us more clear. So we'll just know that they could be up to 7 feet tall, though that's not going to be across the entire length of the retaining wall.
Vitaly, can you add some information about the height right at the borders there? The property lines?
Yeah, so at the property line, if you're looking at this site plan in the 5-foot setback, that's where they will be the shortest because it kind of tapers off because it's very steep going up towards the property line. And so they'll be taller closer to the house. Now, the one that goes along parallel with the driveway, my guess is that one's going to be the shortest and it's going to be the most even, but it's going to be kind of angled up, mainly because of the driveway is also at a slope. The one that go left to right away from the house towards the side property, they're going to start at the tallest where they meet the house. And then pretty much down to almost nothing when they hit get closer to the property line, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
Just because the
Is this
slope
is there a house on the left?
there are no houses in the lots, multiple lots to the left and to the right and to the back and in front are all Sun Valley owned, unbuildable, undevelopable lots.
Could I ask a question that I've asked before? I,
Go ahead, Terry.
can I be reminded about the rules for when you have to put a railing on top of a wall?
That would be a question for Whatcom County.
Right. Yeah, but you know it, right?
It varies based on a lot of circumstances, like what is the actual drop we're looking at? Is this going to be
Well,
an
if you
area that has
built a deck,
traffic, or is this going to be a landscape feature?
if you built a
Uh,
deck, Jerry, what would it be?
So if you build a deck, then it needs a railing at least waist height, per code. If you
So a
build a staircase, same thing. And plus a handrail that needs to be ADA accessible. Now, this is an outdoor thing where we're not expecting any human traffic. And we're getting a little out of scope of the ACC here when we're talking about code. Generally, landscape walls do not require any railings or any handrails. That changes if there's a staircase, but there's no staircase here.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the only overlap I would see there is if we are approving walls that go into the setback, I would like them to be safe for the neighbors. And I think that was closer to Terry's point. We don't want a big drop off that is right next to a bunch of kids playing next door. It sounds like that's not an issue here. But that's why I'm looking at these things so carefully. These are drop offs. I mean,
yeah,
I know you said there's not a lot of traffic, but I walk in my yard all the time. And if I had kids, I would definitely put some railing
yeah.
up there.
One of the houses we lived in when I was a kid had carports, and the back wall of the carport was, look, what would it be for a carport? 6 feet, solid concrete, and it wasn't covered. So all the kids in the neighborhood would go around to the top of that wall and jump off. Dare each other to jump off. Yeah.
So
but
I'm
thank
not
you
sure
for
that,
answering the question.
yeah. So I'm not sure if that's a concern here.
So the rule is that there's a walking surface nearby.
If there's what?
A walking surface.
Okay.
So that is a path, like a patio, like anything that we can reasonably expect a member of the public to be standing on. Then a handrail is required, but if not, then there is no requirement under code for any sort of guardrail.
But the driveway is or is not considered a walking surface.
So a driveway is considered to be a driving surface, not a walking. If there was a walkway, like a sidewalk, a raised curb that abutted it, then yes, that would be a walking surface, and then a guardrail would be required. But an asphalt driveway is not considered a walking surface. But those stairs next to the driveway are a walking surface.
Okay.
So Vitaly, just so you know, the reason we're making it's fairly common to have these retaining walls in setbacks, but we do need to ensure that if they are that close to a property, it's not a danger to anybody and it's not unsightly. I'm not too concerned about what I'm seeing here. Does anybody else have any other concerns about?
I have a question on that wall that's up to 7 feet. Is that going to be straight across? So at one point it could be 7 feet high, and then another place it might be 4 foot, or is it kind of staggered down?
Vitaly?
So the 7 feet is just what's allowed by Whatcom County, and so we put that on there. I don't think when everything's finished, I'm going to be anywhere near 7 feet anywhere. And the second part of the question is, on this particular build, I don't think we're going to have a single spot area or length of area with the retaining walls where they're continuously the same height. Maybe we're going to get too close to something like that along the driveway. But like everywhere else, because of all the topography around here, we're essentially going from, 4 or 5, maybe 6 foot to 0, where the wall essentially just goes straight into the slope on the side of the house. And so
Okay.
most of these walls are going to be going from 3, 4, 5, 6 feet to nothing. And so and even where it meets the house, and this is where I'm not really sure, depending on how we're going to build this, where it meets the house, we might build a wall. Just give you an example, the one that's at the corner of the house that's closest to the driveway, that might be 5 feet there. And then the wall that goes perpendicular to that, also the corner of the house, might be a 7-foot wall, but we're probably going to end up burying the bottom part of the wall when we backfill the lower wall. And same thing with the top. And so the wall that I build might be 7 feet, but what you see in finished grade, I don't think will be anywhere near that. Because looking at the house and taking a couple measurements, I don't think they'll be this tall. And so the 7 foot is, again, mainly what county allows. And then the engineering detail, I think, goes up to 8 feet, mainly because that's what the engineer has pretty much given us for all these kind of out and block retaining walls that we've used in the past. So if that answers the
Okay,
question.
thank you. Yes.
Any
And
other comments?
about the whole safety thing, if you guys want a little more info from my side of things, I don't think it's a concern in this one because of the neighbors in the lot and the topography and everything. I might end up coming back to you guys, or might end up putting a rail, especially at the very top. I don't think I'm going to need it, but I probably will, mainly because I still got little kids, and I take that seriously as well. And I think a lot of it isn't even code. It's just more for the homeowner or people that have kids. They take that seriously, and I do. In this case, I'm not required by county anywhere. County hasn't. This is approved. I went to the revision. They haven't required me to do anything, but I still may end up doing something if I think
Okay.
it's necessary.
And that was really my main concern about the walls extending into the setback, aesthetically and safety wise. So we appreciate the variance. Any other comments? Anybody have a motion for this one?
I move to approve item 12, 14 Deer Run,
And 20?
With 20?
and 20. Yes, both of them.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Okay, thanks, Vitaly.
I also had a color change for this one. Is that going to be a separate item, or are we going to?
No, I think that was part of number 12.
Oh,
Yeah, it's part
Or
of 12.
number number 12.
Yep.
So you're good.
Cool. Thank you, guys. Have a good
Anybody
day.
need a quick 5 minutes?
Yep.
I got to change out my headphones because my batteries are dying.
Okay.
5 minutes.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. We're going to go to item 6, 11A Par Lane. And we did go look at this one, and we've seen this property before, and it looks like they're doing a pretty good job with everything. Right now, they're asking for a retaining wall. Any comments?
He told you how I've helped with the deck and everything.
Yep. He had a lot to say about you, Patrick.
We don't want to record that, though. Can I get a motion on this one?
I move to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Right. Item 13, the free library. We're submitting this as one of the best submissions we've ever seen with all the engineered drawings for a small free library. And that's what we asked. We asked for a little clarification on the stability of this. And he gave that to us.
I'll make a
Any
motion.
other comments?
Well,
Was
I
that?
think maybe we should deny because you went overboard on giving us the stuff and
He
we
gave us
didn't
too
have
much
time to
information.
address all that.
Well, we don't know what kind of books are going to be in there either.
Yeah. Yeah. Could be an encyclopedia set.
He should have to run every book by us to make sure we approve of them.
Yeah.
I think Dan had a motion there.
Yeah, I'll make a motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the number 14 was removed, right?
Withdrawn, correct. 15?
Item 15, 8 Shetland Court.
You guys went and looked at this last time and she's changed it up a little bit, right?
Yeah.
She has, yeah.
Yes.
And they've redesigned it to a wooden wire.
Correct.
Well,
It is
the front and
my
side.
understanding. Go ahead, Terry.
The front and side to a wooden wire.
What's the back?
The back will still be those T-posts.
Correct, with the netting.
With what?
The netting. You know that smaller gauge.
Oh, I thought she was going to do the wooden or the hog wire gauged wire on that.
I'm sorry. I should be more.
You may be right, but that's what I discussed with her at the time.
Oh, well, shoot, that supersedes anything I remember.
Well, no, we have to go by what she has on this submission.
Yeah.
No, it says
she says she's going to use the T-post.
T-posts, yeah.
And
with
black
hog
wire.
Hog wire with native plants for native plants.
So that it'll the whole fence, the whole perimeter, what she's proposing is using the hog wire. But she will do wood posts on the front and the side.
And T-posts along
and
the back.
T-posts in the back.
Right.
Yep.
Well done.
Just, it won't be visible from the street, but there is a path back there. So a lot of people do walk by there and they will possibly see this. It's pretty dense back there, so I think it'll be more hidden.
Yeah.
If they do use the T-posts. I'm very much opposed to the T-posts, but I think this may be an appropriate solution here.
But you wanted to ask her to paint them, paint the top.
Yeah,
paint the tips.
Paint the well, I think they're green when you buy them. So if she could just paint them all black to match the same color as the wooden wire.
She says, I am changing my design to include a wood frame section in the front and left sides. This new design will be more labor intensive, more costly, with less weather resistance, less camouflaged, more permanent, and have greater impact on the environment due to the need for concrete. But that's on you. So
right,
that's what we required.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is really a matter of whether we are okay with the fence and then whether we will agree to do the T-post in the back instead of the wood, essentially.
Yeah, and there are a lot of trees in the back, so it's probably easier to do that.
Putting a wood post back there would be almost impossible.
Well, it was also more detrimental to the trees than the little T-post.
Yes.
I thought go ahead, Daniel.
I would almost never approve T-posts anywhere.
Yeah.
But I think it works here. You never saw the place, did you, Dan?
No, I'll trust you guys.
I move to approve. Item 15.
All in favor?
Aye.
I,
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Item 17, 312 Sudden Valley Drive.
I got a lot of color changes. And adding 4-inch lap siding and 6-inch lap siding, which was switched from cedar shingles switching from cedar shingles to hardy shingles.
Anybody have any issues, comments?
well, I would really have liked to see a drawing of this. Just because didn't we have a spate of houses that we were all annoyed had 5 different finishes on the front and verticals
Yeah,
and horizontals and shingles and other things, and this wasn't one of them, was it?
This is a construction change request, so he's just recently submitted a construction request, so we should be able to see like a profile of what it looks like, right?
But I mean, I wish he would have submitted it with the request.
I can pull up what it looked like previously, if you'd like.
Thanks, Jerry.
All right, sure. Let me grab that.
And Dan, you're right. And Terry, you're both right. Everybody's right. It would have been nice if had he included it, but we've approved it before, so Jerry steps in, saves the day.
All right. I've got, so this is the pizza slice house, as Daniel likes to call it.
I'm not seeing anything.
Here you go.
No.
oh yeah.
So here is the shingles, and here is the other siding.
So instead of the cedar shingles, it'll be hardy shingles, so it's sort of the same look.
Well, where is he putting the pine?
The pine?
Yeah.
Small section of vertical pine in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It might be a good. If he's got these digital images, it wouldn't be that hard for him to change them to show like where this vertical pine, a small section of vertical pine, is that just going to go like around the front door? What is that going to look like?
Yeah.
And I'd like to see the colors.
Yeah.
It's a lot of color.
We could tell him to resubmit with update his construction drawings, his elevation drawings to show the changes in the addition of the vertical pine and then the adding of the colors to see what we can. I don't think this is not, it's under construction right now, right?
Right.
This is Alan. I think it would be good for my karmic balance to let you all know this was the one that we had Mark on that call when everybody was there, and he's like, "Hey, did you get my request?" And we're like, "No, we didn't." And yet, actually, we did. If there is a 51.49% that we can approve it, I'd like to make that pitch. If we say denied, resubmit, we've introduced about a month delay of hardship to him. So I'm just.
But he can't do the finish until he's already built the house, right?
The house is up to the point where there's Tyvek siding, and he's looking to put the rest of the siding on. So there's the membrane is up. He's just looking to put the last bits of siding on.
Do you know where that vertical pine is that he wants to put on?
No, I do not.
So Alan, what did you say? Did you say we What did you say
About
about
what?
your karmic?
Karmic, karmic balance.
He had to
We,
Yeah.
give it an incorrect answer to the guy's question.
exactly. We
Uh,
caused a delay for Mark because he had submitted
okay.
it. It was overlooked and we didn't get it at the meeting where he was there. So we've said, we apologize. We'll get it in right away. Here it is. And so we've introduced at least a 2-week delay in his
All
schedule.
right. Maybe we should make this a learning moment for us that we as a committee need to see what these kind of changes are, if they're changing the colors and the siding um, going forward. Can we take a leap of faith on this one? And the colors don't look horrible. The siding looks like it's okay as it is now. So I'm
Can I
assuming it's
make
not going to just totally fall off the tracks.
a suggestion?
Go ahead.
Would you consider approving it and requiring Mark to provide a color rendering ASAP or within X number of days so that if he has materials to order or contractors get to schedule, he can do that. And then you've got the leverage or lock to say, it's not done till I see a color rendering that I'm comfortable with. I don't know.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
going
if
to
you could
suggest that.
facilitate that, I'd be good.
We've done it in the past where we've approved it conditioned upon submittal of something else that then gets circulated to the committee offline.
It's if I may add, it's not something I want to see happen all the time. It just causes too much overhead on my part. But where there's, as Daniel likes to say, situational uh, uniqueness, and this being one of impacting the builder unnecessarily, I think it's a good use of that. So, my 2 cents. Oh,
Good
hey,
karma
Mark.
for everybody.
Hey, Mark. Mark's here. Mark, how much of that did you catch? We were talking about you. Mark, I got to do something. Sorry, Mark, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. How much of that did you hear? And we're happy. It's not a secret. I just want to know how far back to play the rewind tape.
I just joined, so I don't really know what's going on. I thought the meeting's in the evening, so.
Okay. All right. Daniel, do you want to summarize? You want me to summarize?
I think the big question is, where is that pine strip going? The vertical pine in the front.
Oh, Jerry, could you go back to that elevation drawing? There you go.
So it's just the porch area right under that roof, and that's
Okay. It's going like just basically framing in the doorway.
Just where the door is, just that portion.
Replacing the shingles around the door.
Yeah. I mean, if you guys look at the elevation pages, it should show it correctly. I don't know why the 3D renderings didn't generate it.
Oh, you have it elsewhere in there. Okay.
I'm just looking at your old submission packet here.
If it's old, I mean, I submitted a new plan set that should reflect all the changes that I wanted to do. So I'm not sure why you guys are looking at the old submission.
Yeah, what date was that submitted?
I've been trying to get a meeting for 2 weeks now. Last time I submitted everything in time, I wasn't put on schedule. And I mean, I submitted it last Thursday around 10 a.m.
Okay, well.
Can you guys hear me?
Is there is there a indication where you've got 3 different colors, body colors? Where are those going? The shingles are going to be the white.
The shingles are going to be the white. The darker is going to be the top portion. And then the brown is going to be the bottom portion. I'm just trying to split up the house to make it look less tall and I guess look better. Hello?
Anybody have any issues then?
No, I think I've seen enough, but I mean, he
Can I
seems like
get a
he's trying to make it look nice, and it'd be good to get a final rendering just to see what it would look like. But I think we've probably held him up a little bit along the way, and should
Yeah,
have some
I
more.
think going forward, Alan, Alan and Jerry, if we can get those. But could we get a motion on this?
I'll make a motion to approve.
We'll give that one to Patrick.
Yeah, it's Patrick. I like it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay, let's move on to item 18.
Thank you,
Cutting
guys.
down a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
Any comments here? Did we get an arborist report on this?
You don't need an arborist report.
Well, I think I just want to point out that exposed roots aren't necessarily a indication of a healthy tree. Can I get that confirmed by you, Terry?
They are not an indication that the tree is diseased or dying, but the top part of this tree.
We get a lot of that where people want to cut a tree down and they say it's because the roots are exposed.
Yeah,
And-
yeah.
But in this case, we have extenuating circumstances.
My
So-
only question is, this was a live Christmas tree that was planted after the holiday season. Given the size of the tree, what year was that? That's almost like a family legacy tree. I don't know that I'd want to cut it down.
Might be an old family that doesn't live there anymore.
Yeah. I don't have any issue with it.
Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? All right, I think that's
it.
everything.
All the time.
I just
Okay.
want to, either for the record or not for the record, thank Alan for helping to referee that discussion with Ed. That was helpful.
Yeah.
When he called me a hypocrite, I just put myself on mute at that point. So
Good call, Dan.
That guy
right,
isn't dangerous, is he?
We're still on. No.
Okay, we'll call this meeting at 11:20.
yeah, that was